Hello once again, and welcome back to another fascinating and curious haphazard recording with your host, Lance Renard.
What do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain
and I will go ahead and start out with today's. I just opened up yesterday's
I'll never fall in love again.
post Mud Fossil Eyeball, where I had gone out and named Reggie. I'm sorry, little Archie. I wanted him to be named Reggie. It was a huge argument, but we settled on Archie Harrison because I like Star Wars as much as they do, whether or not I believe in it. Linda Perez says, "Woo, it does look like an eyeball. Sweet brother, send that to Roger of Mud Fossil University." Yes, I did. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I sent it to Roger in a link in the comments. Thanks, Sister Perez. If you make a discovery, it's a huge deal. And that does look like one. History is upon us. All new great times we're in, brother. I'm glad that you are here. And it's great to be here. As a matter of fact, it was, as I mentioned several times, an experiment. Jane Doe has sent in a video.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Okay, and now we have Arya talking about being targeted, characteristics of a royal bloodline. It's a discussion.
A lot of people initially are open about speaking truth. That's one thing. They're open about speaking the truth. The truth always ruffles feathers.
I subscribe here.
But here's some of the personality traits, because there are personality traits, believe it or not, when one is deemed a targeted individual. Is also based on race and nationality as well. Not all the time. Not all the time is it based on race and nationality, but those are one of the key points.
Interesting. Talking about being targeted and the attributes and aspects, characteristics of being targeted. I think it's a curious essay that Arya...
People with a hive mentality. They roll in hives like bees, you know? You're dealing with people with hive mentality. You're dealing with people who basically can't understand them. They can't even function in society without something going on around them. So a lot of people like that who have to have some type of drama going on for them to just function. So when a person has self-control, emotionally intelligent, patient, calm under pressure, staying clear of all the drama that's going on in the world, guess what? That person is looked at. You know what else makes you a targeted individual? If you are a seeker of truth. If you seek truth, that would deem you as a threat. Even if you're not fully into the knowledge. None of us fully know, understand everything. None of us fully know all the answers, ladies and...
I like this guy. Arya, I went ahead and subscribed. Amorphous Revolution in Amsterdam. Thank you for that link, Jane. The man has some excellent ideas, and he's projecting them in a calm and rational way. I greatly appreciate that. This link that I just showed you a moment ago is sent in by Joseph Brandenburg, and Melbourne Eyeball. Yeah, Melbourne Eyeball looks it's insane how I'm going to get back into that in this one today and just take an overview of things again. But getting back to Joseph Brandenburg's video that he had sent, it is a fantastic piece full of excellent images of giants, of fossilized, petrified. It's an amazing piece, and it's got so many different... Now, your naysayers, of course, there's a whole lot of naysayers out there that...
Cool. This coffee smells like shit.
It is shit, Austin.
Need to shoot down everything, but the fact is we are seeking truth, and yeah, that looks pretty obvious. And we are just observing and making calculations, observations, determinations.
Oh, good, then it's not just me. It's a bit nutty.
Great. That is just fantastic. Really appreciate that work. And thanks again, Joseph Brandenburg, for all of your astute and observant details. Nice one, had a giggle. Yeah, me and the Queen, we got a thing going on. She likes to be called Mrs. Jones. Shagadelic, you dated the mum Mimi? The mummy? Aye, lad, that he did. Of course, I'm joking around about that. She wouldn't have a guy like me. But it's fun. It's fun to play. And next to the eye, did you notice to the left the hand and the stairs going down under the sea? I did notice an angle thing down there. I'm going to have to get in there. Well, looking at right next to the eye, all I see here is some prime real estate. Put in a little waterfall there, resort, 18-hole golf course, mini course, little Disneyland area. Get it all set up. There's a couple of boats. Having a little race over here. You can really see clearly in this neck of the woods. Looking for that stairway. The stairway to heaven. Well, wait a minute. If it's going down, it wouldn't be. Okay. Just giving that a quick check. And back to comments. I'll check it for sure, is what I replied. And there's more to the survey is in order. And that will be done today. White Tiger's got some questions. Thanks, White Tiger. I'll have to give you a reply with a couple of exclamation points. There we go. And then Linda Perez, some great footage. All of these clips showing between are awesome. Yeah, I'm just now working with video clips and becoming accustomed to a more fluent creative production. So thank you for sending me these excellent musical links. Jane Doe, I appreciate that. I write music. I have a wide variety of music in my system. This is a song I wrote for my son.
When I first heard of you, boy, I didn't want to believe it. Then I finally saw you,
And I saw what life could achieve. Yeah, and this is my son. At the age of about 15. Maybe I should start my production with this. So yeah, I've got all variety of music that I'm able to use, and I haven't really experimented that much with it. So once again, greatly appreciated all of the comments, likes, and subscriptions. Thank you to my new recent subscribers. And in case this is your first haphazard production or second, I commonly will just hop in different areas, take a look at what was being surveyed and the issues that were being covered immediately. Pronto, muy pronto, my friend. And getting back into this yesterday's anomaly and getting down on it. Get down on it. I use that a lot, and no singing. However, taking a look at, okay, if this is theoretically an eye and it is submerged, somebody had mentioned in the comments Melbourne Island, and I don't see a name. I can go into, it might help if I did put in names, borders, and labels. There we go. And with borders and labels in place, I again see no name. And we do go a lot by textures. I know if you watch Mud Fossil University, Roger explains textures really well, and he just did an excellent piece on different scales and the discovery of dragon scales. I'm a little bit more, yeah, I see a lot of textures and I do not make the calculation due to the fact that I just don't have the training and like to refer other people. That's why you'll find me referring so many other people. Some neat little drawings and diagrams. It's interesting how you can see tire tracks in some places, and that was part of that curious video that I had shown 2 days ago with the Mario tunes in it, talking about how Google Earth is actually put together with high altitude images. A lot of people get bent out of shape when you start talking about satellites or a lack of satellites or a disbelief in satellites, and that satellites are all hokum. My general viewpoint on that is if NASA told you something, yeah, and I actually know people that help put the space shuttles together down in Florida, in Cape Canaveral area, and have spent many a day discussing their work. And the work is compartmentalized. They put a piece, they create a chunk, and they get that chunk put onto the machine, and then from there, that's all they know is that one chunk that they put on the machine. They don't have any other complete details, and that's how NASA keeps it compartmentalized to the point where people think things are happening, they're being told things are happening, but there's no way to actually go through the full verification aside from believing what you're told. So just believe what you're told, and that's the name of that tune, mister. Right. So to have a huge argument or discount, no, just take a look at who lies to you, and then if you want to believe the people that lie to you, that's not my choice. I can't tell you to have some fun, show you a few details, and a few curiosities. And sometimes they just get so obvious that I laugh about it, and I make jokes about it. So I'll make jokes about both sides. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't have a problem with people that do have a problem with it. If you want to overreact about something, I'm not going to talk you out of that. And that is not my job. Yeah, my job is to lighten and enlighten and enjoy, because I am not that proud. I will allow you to do a comparative analysis on your own. Yeah, using me. I don't have a problem with that. And before I leave this area around Port Phillip Bay and the Port Phillip Bay Eyeball, St. Leonard's, Renard's Resort Island Eyeball. Oh, yeah, I wanted to bring up the cavity right here, the bay itself, and backing off appearance of a bridge of a nose angle in relation to an eye. Forehead. Once again, gash in the forehead sort of appearance. For all of you mud fossilers, and take a look from a distance at this relative profile, I wanted to bring that up. And this is one of the reasons I don't have these labels and borders selections, is because of all the yellow lines and obfuscation. I like using that word. But see how it has this profile appearance? Wanted to bring that up briefly before I went into my next issues. I'm going to briefly mention that Roger from Mud Fossil University has mentioned that Australia, lying down under, is a large heart. A heart. And that's part of my surveys to take a look. Now notice the colorations here. When you're taking this many high altitude photographs and then stitching them all together, seems highly complex and very difficult to fake a lot of things. Now you can cover them up with plates. A lot of the time you'll get down in close on things to look. You will find stitched areas in many places. Here we go. And that's what I call a stitched area. Notice how the segments and sections, this one has clouds, you get in a little closer, this one doesn't. Get in a little further, And it's actually as if you're looking at different images, and you'll notice there's an image below this image, and there's one below that, and then there's water below all that, and as you back off, another one appears, and another one appears. That's what I call stitched. It's just an overlay upon overlay, and you'll find it. I mean, what did it take me, 2 or 3 seconds to find that? You find them everywhere, and you're looking for these, like, okay, here's another one, black dot. See this black dot area? Now if I go in on this black dot area, now you see all the stitching that I'm talking about, the overlay, the pieces, and this is a great example right here. So just kind of wanted to bring that up here. You've got clouds there, you don't have clouds, and this is a variety of photographs taken of this area that were put together. Now let's count the photos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, just like 20 easily countable separate images that were stitched together. And if you know Photoshop or imaging, you just basically take the shape, you raise it up or down, match it to, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, who's got that job? I want that job. Good, give me a call. I'll sit there and stitch stuff together. And look at how many. I counted 20, but there are a lot more than 20 images. So a quick surveillance of those details and that interesting fact. All right, I wanted to show you this map that I found from the Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings, Evidence of an Advanced Civilization, a book in the Stanford Library. Whoops. And if you notice what I'm doing here and now, I just turned the page over, and what I'm looking at is 2 faces leaned up to each other with an arm reaching out. And if you'll notice that this is a representation of Europe, with the 2 faces nose to nose, as you'll notice the face right in here and this face there with their noses. Well, this one's face is turned, but this is an interesting and curious layout of Europe, with an arm reaching out this way, the Italian, what we know as a boot, and then you've got the body down here. Now this is one of a couple of representations that I have seen from the Ancient Sea Kings piece, and I had to flip this page upside down in order to, show you these details. So I wanted to bring that up as a very, very old map of 1335. Interesting. Alright, this is the one that I was just showing you as a close-up, and this is the book. It is called Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings, Evidence of Advanced Civilization, and Flat Earth, New World Order, Illuminati, Freemasons. Interesting book, and very curious magical symbols. And this is the 12 wind system as described in the following page. And in this page, I've got it zoomed in really close so that it's more legible. However, it says various persons collaborated in the search dealing with all these maps. And I left it close up to show you the representation. And here he describes, excuse me, a few glitches occurring here. Various persons collaborated in the search. Richard Stevenson of the Map Division of the Library of Congress went through the maps collection in that library. Dr. Alexander Vitor, curator of maps at the Yale University Library, also made a search for us without success. Well, thanks for doing that, Alexander. Finally, Alfred Isro detected the 12 wind system in a very dilapidated form in the Decanistris map of 1335 to 37. See figure 68, and that's the one we were just looking at. At first glance, this looks like many medieval maps, presumably originating from the particular ideas and limited knowledge of the time. Most ingenious work was done in adapting the geography to animal and human forms, including those of a man and a woman, who are seen in lively dispute. This anthropomorphism appears to have been accomplished without distorting the geography to any noticeable extent. Among the various irregular lines on this map, many of them introduced to complete the human forms, Israel noticed a few straight lines that suggested the survival of parts of an original pattern resembling that of the Portolanos. Measurements with protractors show that, while the angles between them are not precisely those of the 12-wind system, they were much closer to those than to the angles characteristic of the 8-wind pattern. Taking this suggestion of Israel's, I thought I would try to reconstruct the possible original pattern. I straightened the two lines emanating from the projection center at the left of the map, and on the assumption that they might have been intended originally to represent one straight line, this involved only a slight change with this and all the other angles and intersections of the lines traced. And so I suppose he's dealing with this grid, and it's a curious setup. Take a look at this map and comparative information. And now here is that map that we were just looking at, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick preview. That is curious. And I have several curiosities about this and dealing with the bird down here. And it is interesting that when I look at it in this view and then I put it on a large screen, how many other things that I can see. You see these animals that are placed in here, and this head, upside down head over here. I'm going to turn this a couple of times. Zooming in on that head. And that is, why would you, that is an absolute curiosity. Let's take a quick preview of this. It looks so strange. And what are these down here? And there's an arm and a hand here holding something. A bird and a hand here with this penile looking thing here. And that is right where Venice would be. Right there. So apparently Venice is on a large erection. And with the bird poking it in the head. Kind of missing something here, and maybe you'll be able to see it easier than I. But it appears to be more of a reverse image in that the water itself used to be a body of water. Now it's a body of water. Huh. And then over here on the far side, I'm going to have to do some comparisons and put Europe in the way that it commonly is oriented. Sorry about spinning it so much, but this is its most common orientation to our view, relatively speaking. And now to back off and take a look at it on Google Earth, and the European area that I'm talking about here is this, and that strange, I'm going to turn this slightly. Right, that humanoid form fits in here. And the penile area is right along here. And then the bird's head was up in this range. I really don't see the bird. But this is a curious comparative from this and this being Italy here. Now I want to look for this Well, I did. The head over on this side, going back to Google Earth, and the head over. Now, actually, according to that map, the head would be down in this range over here. It's a little difficult to construe, or possibly the head is this large lake area. I'd have to take another quick look at that. But yeah, the head would be way over here somewhere. Let me back off a little more. But this seems to be more of it. I don't know. Might be over here. So, go ahead and check out the... Well, here I'll just go to the site itself. Maps of the ancient sea kings, evidence of the advanced civilization. And back off, and this is in the Internet Archive under Old World Maps. And I'll leave the link, Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings. Fascinating, Captain. There is a lot of interesting links in here. Our beginnings in Europe and America. And I like to reserve my Flat Earth various pics maps. Cool. So there's a lot of stuff that you can use in your content. I wanted to bring that up, run through that. And thank you for spending time today in checking out my essay and some of the reasons that we are here, I am here, and different things we're going to be going through.
Load us up.
So I hope you have a wonderful day. Please leave your comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for all the new subscribers, by the way.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
History and Reference Part 1. And I will return shortly. Thanks once again. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share. And have a great day.